No, Mom, it's not a fake. I have to give the people the news at noon. Elon Twitter boy Musk. Man, we hope to one day stop covering this funny man and his silly little antics. Having laid off more workers right before Thanksgiving, Musk recently tweeted a collection of slides glorifying Twitter's surge in activity, as well as making sure to note that Twitter is, of course, recruiting. Super unexpected. Well, at the very least, we know now that these upcoming employees are hardcore, just like the Tesla CEO would have wanted. It really is too bad that he had to let all the other employees go right before Thanksgiving. I can only imagine what the dinner table conversations would have been like. Oh, Henry, how's work at Twitter with that new Tesla guy?
I lost everything, Dad.
Yeesh. Pass the gravy, bro. The World Cup has Iran heated, not for the reasons you would think, however, as the US Soccer Federation had made it a point to display the Iranian flag as nothing more than its bare colors on a recent social media post. This was done in support of the ongoing protests currently sweeping Iran that have women fighting for basic human rights. Where the Iranian flag normally bears the emblem of the Islamic Republic, the Federation has gone into Photoshop and disabled that layer in support for the protests. Iran has called this out as distorting its flag and breaking the FIFA charter, which apparently would result in a 10-game suspension. Iranian state-aligned news agencies wrote that the US should be kicked out of the World Cup for such a decision. It is worth noting that the US has responded by continuing to show their support for the protesters through press statements, but has since returned the Iranian flag back to its original state on all forms of media. Kim Jong-un's daughter, 10-year-old Kim Ju-ae, has been appearing more and more in recent media, which begs the question, again, whether or not she's prepared to eventually succeed her father. Kim Jong-un has always spoke highly of his daughter, referring to her as his most beloved child, and has been seen taking photos with her in front of missile testing facilities. Yeah, why wouldn't you take family portraits in front of the nukes?
I know I would.
That's the hardest family portraits of 2022 in my opinion.
Honestly.
With so much press covering Kim's daughter, it is important to recall that Kim reportedly has two other children, who no one cares about, a boy born in 2010 and another daughter born in 2017. Ju-ae, at least so far, seems to be the only child being given the time of day by the press, which raises the question for the young lady's succession for her father's country, given the deeply patriarchal nature of North Korean society. Man, I hope she'll be nicer than her father though. Protests are reportedly erupting across China in hopes of changing the government's zero-COVID policy. A protest that was apparently sparked by a deadly fire in Xinjiang this past Thursday, where videos filmed by nearby residents suggest that the policy was to blame for the delayed firefighter response, ending in the death of 10. Local residents not only gathered and grieved, but also spoke out against the policies and current government system. This has spread to university campuses where students have protested with posters, as well as mass anti-lockdown protests springing up overnight in Urumqi, where many residents tore down barriers and took to the streets. Multiple videos of the protests have depicted residents calling for the Communist Party of China to step down, as well as calling for a democracy, not a dictatorship. The Chinese government has responded by arresting many of the protesters, but their calls for freedom continue to grow stronger as the days go on, and only time will tell if this is a big turning point for the future of the country. Whoa, here's a little something crazy. Just yesterday, a plane in Maryland has crashed into a transmission tower and has left multiple passengers stuck 100 feet above the ground, hanging around inside the cabin. Maybe the pilot was trying to get better reception to watch the World Cup. Who knows? On the bright side, there have been no reports of major injuries, but there have been reports of widespread power outages across the county, with multiple cities reporting stopped traffic lights. Hopefully everyone is down and safe by now, but to all my pilots out there, maybe keep your eyes on the sky. Russia is reportedly thinking about leaving a nuclear power plant that they had seized at the beginning of the Ukrainian war last March. This will be a major shift in the front lines between Ukraine and Russia, as the Zaporizhzhia region has been long controlled by Russian forces and would give much needed ground to Ukraine, where the territory hasn't shifted for months. This news comes as a result of Russian media alleging that vacating the plant would be worth handing over to the International Energy Agency, which gives the impression that they're getting ready to give up the area. Look, whatever keeps us away from a potential nuclear fallout, I'm all good with. Give that ground back, Russia. You don't need it anyway. But you know what we do need? A like and subscribe right down below from everybody watching this video right now. Don't forget to leave a comment as well telling us which story you like the most. Or maybe just fight with each other. We don't know. All we know is we'll see you tomorrow.